Rimuru the Violet Primordial. A Legend Reborn, by NoruSensei. CH01. Violet's first subordinate, getting summoned in the deal. 3rd POV. During the fight of Rouge and Violet, now Ultima Mishika, Vert and Blue were enjoying their cup of tea, talking about the both of them challenge Rouge to know who's stronger. As they had set the time, Blue left Vert's territory via flight and headed straight back to her territory. As Vert was about to take a break, Ultima suddenly appeared in front of her. Vert was surprised by this but had managed to calm herself down, then asked Ultima. "Greetings, Violet. May I know the reason why are you here at my territory?" "Likewise, Vert, do call me Ultima Mishika. That's my name. As for why I'm here," Ultima stated as she playfully smiled. "I'm here to get you as my subordinate," she proclaimed. "As I expected, you were here to fight me. Very well, I'll accept you as my master if you make me submit to you," Vert said as she then prepares an elemental magic along with dark magic to be fired at Ultima. Ultima then managed to dodge it with ease. She then laughs as she said, "Omoshiroi. Very well, I'll make you submit." Ultima then activated Nihilistic Banish and used it against Vert. It was a dark magic that was equivalent to Holy Magic's Disintegration, and it erases the target by carefully unleashing energy summoned from the darkest abyss in hell. But in Ultima's case, it was fused with a bit of turn null and some poison to make Vert submit to her immediately. It was a sure kill to Vert and to other primordial demons who were not yet in the level of true demon lord. But Ultima made sure to heal Vert so she wouldn't die instantly. "So, are you going to submit? Or die?" Ultima asked with a smile on her face as she enjoys seeing Vert suffering. Vert, who knew that she could have died from that attack alone, was now looking at Ultima as she bowed her head in submission. "I accept you as my master, Ultima-sama," said Vert as she was still struggling. Ultima then snaps her finger as the spells were removed and completely healing Vert in the process. "Then I'll name you as proof that you're my servant," she said as she reached out her hand in front of Vert, who was still kneeling in front of her. Vert, who was at first confused at her new master's action, hesitantly took her hand and stood up, then keeping her head low as to show respect to her new master. "From now on, you shall be known as Mazari Midorita. Serve me well to the very end," Ultima stated as large amounts of magicules came out of her and wrapped Vert, now Mazari, into a green cocoon. Few minutes later, she came out wearing a purple maid uniform and having a strongest body given by Ultima in the process of her evolution. Mazari then kneels again as she said, "I, Mazari Midorita, utterly swears to serve you until to the very bitter end." "Stand up, you have your first mission," Ultima said with an authoritarian voice. "Hi, Ultima-sama." Mazari complied and was waiting for her master's first order to her. "Gather your best lineage and bring them in front of me. As for the rest, order them to be on standby," she said. "At once, Ultima-sama." Mazari bows her head, then teleported to gather her best lineage back to her master. After Mazari teleported out, Ultima had then decided to summon her best lineage with the help of Seal to select those best demons under her. She then activated Lineage Demon Summoning, and few seconds later there were 3 demons kneeling in front of her. Their looks are, one of them has the appearance of a gentlemanly middle-aged man with slicked black-purple hair and a lean physique. He wears a butler outfit and sports 2 curved purple horns and a handlebar mustache. Another has 1 white horn, assumes the appearance of a youthful man with purple hair tied in a side ponytail that hangs over his right shoulder. He has pointy ears, purple eyes with dark sclera. Lastly, this demon's appearance was a middle-aged man who wears a merchant-like noble clothes with a cane. "Isn't this Lakua? Oh, I forgot. I'm the one who killed him in the last timeline as he was sabotaging the Lake of Raja Kingdom with poison just to quick the process for Ulti, or I guess now future me's incarnation, huh? Well, for now that will take centuries later for that to happen. For now I shall name him later on," Ultima thought to herself as she took a sharp glance at future Lakua, then reverted her gaze. "You have called, Oju-sama, Ultima-sama," they all greeted while kneeling in front of Ultima. From now on serve under me directly," Ultima declared. "It would be an honor to serve under you, Oju-sama, Ultima-sama," they all said at the same time. "When I point at you, stand up and step forward," she said as she then pointed at future Veyron and future Zonda. "Hi," both of them said at the said time as they took a step forward. From this day onwards I shall name you Veyron, and you as Zonda. Ultima said to the both of them as they then evolved from greater demons to archdemons. Ultima had made Veyron slightly stronger than Zonda. As they had finished evolving, they then again kneeled in front of Ultima and said their gratitude. Ultima Mishika Pav. As I finished naming the both of them, I then looked at future Lakua, which I haven't given his name as of now. You will get your name once I need you in service. For now, observe the other demons in my lineage, I said and ordered to the future Lakua. At once, Oju-sama, he said, then teleported back to my territory. I then looked at both of the demons I just named who were still kneeling in front of me. For now, be on standby. I'll be summoning you when I need you, I told the both of them. Hi Ultima Samauju-sama, they both said as they both teleported somewhere near Mazari's territory. I then got myself some chair and a table with a cup of tea and strawberry cake. I then sat down on the chair and began to eat the cake and drink tea while waiting for Mazari to come back with her strongest underlings. Few minutes later, Mazari came back with a single demon that was most likely she deemed worthy in my presence. Ultima-sama, I came back with a demon that is worthy of your presence and my strongest lineage by far, she said as she kneeled along with the demon with her. Very well. Mazari, from now on don't kneel but bow. Got it? I said and instructed to her. At once, Ultima-sama, she then stood up and just bowed her head as I instructed her. I then stood up from my chair and looked at the demon who was still kneeling in front of me. Stand up, I ordered. He then stood up with his head low. From now onwards, you shall be known as Khan. Serve me and Mazari well, I said as I felt another portion of my magicules came out of my body. Khan was then evolved into an archdemon. As he finished evolving, he then bowed his head once more. Khan shall be useful to my master and Mazari-sama, he said. Good, now. The both of you shall listen to me. Mazari, you will be trained by me to become a perfect personal maid. Khan, you'll be serving me as my butler. You shall be trained by Veyron. Go to him and tell him to train you as a professional butler under my orders, I said to them. Ultima-sama, they both said at the same time. Then Mazari started her training to become a perfect personal maid under me, while Khan was training under Veyron. Few centuries later. A few centuries had passed, Mazari was forming as my personal maid perfectly. Khan meanwhile was observing the overworld as I ordered. Few years ago, Veldanava officially died along with Lucia. As years went by, I was then got a summoning call from the overworld. It was from someone. And I shall say this to you, it's interesting. So I answered this demon summoning, then saw a woman looking at my figure. A goddess. She muttered. Oh dear goddess. Do please hear my prayer, she then said as she bowed her head. What it shall be, human, I asked. Please save my kingdom, she said. I then thinked, isn't this? I then realized. I then formed a smirk on my face. Save your kingdom, from what? I asked. My kingdom is suffering from shortage on water, the crops cannot grow well as we lack water. My people are starving, we also have some unknown diseases slowly spreading through the kingdom. Please, I beg you dear goddess. I will do anything, the Queen of Raja said as she bowed her head very low. Very well, let's have a game. I will give you this tiara filled with miracles that can help you. In exchange, every time you use it, there will be a small amount of cursed poison close corner bracket in your body which will slowly make your immune system weak. This will be also passed down to the future queens of next generations as well. Of course, it will be back to zero as they are a different person. You lose when the cursed poison was fully on the body and the user uses all of her life force, or in other terms, exhausted her soul. What do you say? I offered and explained to her the mechanics. She then thinks for a minute about my offer. Then few moments later, she then stood up and held out a hand as a sign of handshake. Omoshiroi, I thought as I formed a smile on my face. I accept, dear goddess, she said with smile and confidence. Then we got ourselves a deal, I said as I held her hand in a handshake. I then snapped my hands and the tiana appeared in her head. She looked beautiful at it. Well then, now that the deal has been sealed, I'll just have to assign Lakua somewhere in the future to watch over them. I know for sure he will try to sabotage it for My sake. How pathetic. Well then, have fun, I said as I teleported myself to the future Jura forest. Why do you ask? I had thought to myself that I want to go to a certain school in mind. I shall bring Misery along with me so she could furthermore learn about humans itself. I then teleported Mizari here. Mizari, we're going to another world, I told her as I smirked. Pardon me, Ultima-sama. What do you mean by another world? She asked as she bowed her head. How professional. She was a bit surprised, but she didn't let it show that easily. I then explained to her. After that I added some reminders and rules of do's and don'ts when going into that world. Yes, there is no magic present in this world. Just like that former world when I was still Mikami Satoru. Except, those fictions, in that old Earth I can make it reality. As I finished, I then teleported us to Yokohama. Of course with the help of Seal I had my background there is the daughter of the strongest and wealthiest family in Japan. The Mishika family were well known in all Japan and some parts of the world like Britain, America, Canada, Germany, France, South Korea, Philippines and many more. I, now serving as the youngest head of the family, I had my personal maid which was of course, Mizari Midorita. She was my maid when I was still a kid, she was almost the same age as me. Or at least that was in the record here. Now, I went to this school I'm talking about and talked to its chairman. His name? It was Chairman Sakayanagi Narumori. Currently I'm negotiating to buy this school to make it mine. We had our greetings and I went straight to the business. I want to purchase this school, I said to him with a smile. He then thinks for a second. For how much exactly are you willing to pay? He asked. Oh ho 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 ho. What about 5 trillion yen? Would that suffice? I asked with a smile. He was shocked, then he managed to regain his composure. I see. Then we have a deal, he said as he then stood up from his chair and took out the papers. It was a pleasure doing business with you, Vice Chairman Sakayanagi-san, I said with a smile as I readied my pen to sign the papers, then I signaled Mizari to transfer the money under his bank account. Vice Chairman? Why, you mean you still tend to keep me around? He asked. Of course, I may be the owner, but I still want you around, I said with a smile. Oh of course, it would be my pleasure, he replied. Then it was finished. Advanced Nurturing High School was now mine. I also made sure to make it private so no news would broadcast it for now. They'll be allowed to do so after 3 years. Now then, I'll have fun here for a while, I still have a lot of time to satisfy my boredom. This month is late March. Next month, I'll be entering as a student. And as I check the list, there are a lot of students, especially the first-year students in April. The student council president, he also doesn't know that I already own the school. This will be fun, I'm also already enrolled in this school I now owned. This is why I went into this world with Mizari. Everything will be interesting for the next 3 years here in this world. Now then, let us begin our fun.